The modern financial sector operates with staggering resources, but inside the walls of major investment banks, execution is often slowed by legacy code mountains, repetitive operational tasks, and the absolute necessity of strict regulatory compliance. When generative artificial intelligence first emerged, the initial reflex across much of Wall Street was to ban it to prevent data leaks. Leadership at Goldman Sachs realized that blocking these tools meant walking away from an efficiency tool capable of compressing weeks of work into minutes. To solve this, they built the GSAI platform. This is a secure, multi-model ecosystem constructed entirely behind the bank's corporate firewall, ensuring no proprietary data ever leaves their servers. Instead of sending information out to the internet, Goldman Sachs brought leading language models, like OpenAI's GPT-4, Google's Gemini, and Anthropic's Claude, inside the bank. They granted secure, role-based access to all 46,000 of their employees. By solving the security problem first, the bank shifted the primary bottleneck of their operations. The limiting factor was no longer human execution speed, but machine processing power. The first tier of this deployment is the GSAI Assistant. It uses a technique called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG. RAG allows an AI to search through a specific private database, like Goldman's internal compliance policies or past transaction records, and use that exact information to answer employee questions securely. This timeline shows the compression of document processing time. Drafting complex initial public offering documents, a task that historically required weeks of manual labor, is shrunk to a matter of minutes. Today, employees feed over 1 million prompts into this assistant every single month. Beyond bankers, Goldman Sachs also looked at their software engineers. A major labor bottleneck for developers is writing unit tests for legacy Java code. Unit tests are small, automated checks written to ensure that individual pieces of software function exactly as intended without breaking older systems. To clear this specific hurdle, the bank deployed an AI tool called diff-blue-cover, which reads existing code and automatically writes the corresponding unit tests. This chart compares human labor against machine output. Writing 3,000 tests for a legacy application would historically take 8 months. The AI completed it overnight, a 180 times speed increase. In 24 hours, code coverage jumped from 36 to 72%. These first 2 tiers of deployment demonstrate that artificial intelligence can successfully eradicate both broad operational delays and highly specific technical debt. Which leads to the third tier of Goldman Sachs's escalation, shifting from using AI as a software tool to hiring AI as an autonomous colleague. The firm is actively piloting Devin, an AI software engineer built by Cognition Labs. The core difference here is autonomy. While a standard chatbot waits for you to prompt it step by step, an agentic AI operates independently to achieve an outcome. A developer assigns a high-level goal, like migrating an old codebase. Devin independently plans necessary steps, writes the code, tests its work, and submits for human review. This diagram illustrates the projected efficiency gain from this autonomous workflow. A single developer managing these agents can expand their output, multiplying total productivity by 3 to 4 times compared to working alone. This level of autonomy transitions the technology from a passive assistance tool into an active, independent digital workforce capable of executing complex, multi-step tasks. Across the firm, these deployments are already yielding measurable results, including a 20% boost in overall coding speed and a 15% drop in post-release software bugs. For Goldman Sachs Chief Information Officer Marco Argenti, this introduces a change in how corporate work is organized. Argenti noted that the primary job of a human employee is no longer to manually type out the code or draft the research report. Instead, the role is to manage the artificial intelligence that does the manual labor. To operate in this hybrid workforce, employees must develop 3 specific skills. They need the ability to accurately describe the goal, successfully delegate the task to the machine, and critically supervise the final output to catch errors. This dynamic makes early career workers surprisingly critical to the transition. Because they are growing up alongside generative AI, junior employees are adapting to the demands of managing these systems much faster than many legacy employees. The case study suggests that the most successful companies in this era will use the technology to promote their employees into managers of a tireless digital workforce.